my life to God and surrender to His will, the more I do what is right. And the easier it will become day by day to do what is right. But we're always in need of forgiveness and need to become a better person by faith in Jesus. Now last week as we studied the Ten Commandments, dealing with our relationship to God or to people, we learned the laws that God expects us to live by. Moses was on the mountain away from the people for 40 days. In Moses' absence, the people not knowing what had happened to Moses got Aaron, Moses' brother, to let them make an idol of gold to worship and to follow as they returned themselves to Egypt. 3 days they had a feast and worshiped the calf. God told Moses to go down to the people. And when Moses saw the sin of his people, he got mad. He took the calf, burned it, and put the ashes in water, which he forced the people to drink. He then got those who were not guilty of this sin against God to kill those who were guilty of this sin. And 3,000 were killed. God threatened to kill all of the people because of their sin. But because Moses prayed for them, God forgave them. Moses then returned to the top of the mountain to receive the rest of the law for God's people. As I stated 2 weeks ago, God's laws were 3 kinds. His moral laws, laws that define right and wrong, ceremonial laws, laws about how to worship God, and civil laws, laws that told the people how to treat other people. These laws are not given in that order because in God's eyes, they're all His laws. They're mixed up, we think. They're together. Immediately after the commandments were given, the people's need to worship God is stated. They're told how to worship at home. And our own personal time alone with God, reading His Word and praying, is necessary if we are to have the power of God in our lives, if we're to have victory when tempted to sin. Now I read my text, a short chapter. Give the Israelites the following laws. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve you for 6 years. In the 7th year, he is to be set free without having to pay anything. If he was unmarried when he became your slave, he is not to take a wife with him when he leaves. But if he was married when he became your slave, he may take his wife with him. If his master gave him a wife, and she bore him sons or daughters, the woman and her children belong to the master, and the man is to leave by himself. But if the slave declares that he loves his master, his wife, and his children, and does not want to be set free, then his master shall take him to the place of worship. There he is to make him stand against the door or doorpost and put a hole through his ear. Then he will be his slave for life. If a man sells his daughter as a slave, she is not to be set free, as male slaves are. If she is sold to someone who intends to make her his wife, but he doesn't like her, then she is to be sold back to her father. Her master cannot sell her to foreigners because he has treated her unfairly. If a man buys a female slave to give to his son, he is to treat her like a daughter. If a man takes a second wife, he must continue to give his first wife the same amount of food and clothing and the same rights that she had before. If he does not fulfill these duties to her, he must set her free and not receive any payment. Whoever hits someone and kills him is to be put to death. But if it was an accident and he did not mean to kill him, he can escape to a place which I will choose for you, and there he will be safe. But when someone gets angry and deliberately kills someone else, he is to be put to death, even if he is run to my altar for safety. Whoever hits his father or his mother is to be put to death. Whoever kidnaps someone either to sell him or to keep him as a slave is to be put to death. Whoever curses his father or his mother is to be put to death. If there is a fight and someone hits someone else with a stone or with his fist, but does not kill him, he is not to be punished. If the one who was hit was to stay in bed, but later is able to get up and walk outside with the help of a cane, The one who hit him is to pay for his lost time and take care of him until he gets well. If a slave owner takes a stick and beats his slave, whether male or female, and the slave dies on the spot, the owner is to be punished. But if the slave does not die for a day or two, the master is not to be punished. The loss of his property is punishment enough. If some men are fighting and hurt a pregnant woman so that she loses her child, but she is not injured in any other way, the one who hurt her is to be fined whatever amount the woman's husband demands, subject to the approval of the judges. But if the woman herself is injured, the punishment shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. And if someone hits his male or female slave in the eye and puts it out, he is to free the slave as payment for the eye. If he knocks out a tooth, he is to free the slave as payment for the tooth. If a bull gores someone to death, it is to be stoned, and its flesh, its meat shall not be eaten, but its owner is not to be punished. But if the bull has been in the habit of attacking people, and its owner had been warned, but did not keep it pinned up, then if it gores someone to death, it is to be stoned, and its owner is to be put to death also. However, if the owner is allowed to pay a fine to save his life, he must pay the full amount required. If the bull kills a boy or girl, the same rule applies. If the bull kills a male or female slave, its owner shall pay the owner of the slave 30 pieces of silver, and the bull shall be stoned to death. If someone takes the cover off a pit, or if he digs one and does not cover it, and a bull or a donkey falls into it, he must pay for the animal. He is to pay the money to the owner, and they keep the dead animal. If someone's bull kills someone else's bull, the two of them shall sell the live bull and divide the money. They shall also divide up the meat from the dead animal. But if it was known that the bull had been in the habit of attacking, and its owner did not keep it pinned up, he must make good the loss by giving the other man a live bull, but he may keep the dead animal.